So first started writing. Did you love everything you wrote?
Probably.
Did it deserve to be loved?
Do I love it now is the real question. Yeah.
So
Does
at
it
what
deserve
point,
to be loved?
I guess here's the thing
Yep.
I'm getting at, is the thing to expect. At what point, how long did it take
Yeah.
until you started getting critical about
No,
what you're doing?
no, that's really a good question, because in my first screenplay, I was the finalist at the Austin Film Festival. First screenplay right out of the gate. It never sold, never got an agent. Nobody was interested, but somehow I lucked out. I must have had some drunk reader, give me good scores. So it took about 10 screenplays later before I had any activity at all. Anybody I know who has been successful at writing, almost every person I can name to a fault, they wouldn't quit no matter how bad it got. I've been in a couple weird cases, because my first project was with the director of the Blair Witch Project, and it was the first movie after the Blair Witch Project. Inktip is it's a website where you post log lines and producers would come and look at them. They also have a free newsletter that comes out each week, and they still do this to this day. And one of them said, Blair Witch director looking for horror under $1 million or whatever it was, under 5 million, I can't remember. And I sent it, and that's all it was. And basically at that time, and this is what I suggest to everybody, I was doing everything. I was doing query letters, I was doing pitch fests, I was calling people, I was making my own movie, I was doing all that stuff. And that one random Inktip thing actually paid off.
When looking at a piece after it's finished, and then you come across that thing on TV, that Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah. No.
I wonder if I had sucked that in when I was a kid, and now it's coming back out.
Absolutely. I almost embrace that. I think the best ideas come from combining two things. Like you have peanut butter and chocolate, but then you combine them and you get a Reese's peanut butter cup. That's, in my opinion, that's what I try to go for when I'm coming up with ideas. I try to cross two things usually, or I try a new wrinkle on that thing that I saw before, as opposed to just kind of rebooting it.
Do you think there is one rule that actually
You can't.
pretty much seems to be the deal breaker all around, at least for yourself?
So anytime you start to break those rules and you don't know it, you're in really dangerous ground. That's one of the problems with people that really don't study the craft, is they might be breaking those rules and not know it, and it may be very dangerous territory. They may risk boring someone or not getting their message across or other things. But if you knowingly break those rules, or if you're just feeling the story and it works the way it works and it's good, you can break any of those rules.
One thing I'd actually like to address is the $500,000 level kind of project.
Okay.
And the question for anyone who is kind of the low budget, no budget filmmaker that dreams of getting to that $500,000 level. How exactly would they do that?
In my experience, the $500,000 project isn't much different than the $50,000 project. Hardly anybody gets paid at the $500,000 level, because you think that's a ton of money, but you just start spending it in other ways. You start paying for everything. Nobody's doing it for free. So the couple of $500,000 movies I made, actually hardly anybody got paid, or they got paid very, very little. And they were done in much the same ways my friends do 20, 30, 40, 50,000. The only difference is that they somehow found one individual or two individuals or three individuals that wrote a check for $500,000.
What do you have coming up future project-wise?
In the fall, the horror comedy, The Night Watchman, which is right now on the festival circuit. I don't know exactly when it's coming out in the fall, but I know it's Halloween time. And then in Christmas of 2017, I have another Nickelodeon movie of the week called Tiny Christmas coming up, and they're always huge fun because that's one I can let my kid watch, and like, it's on TV. It's usually on around Thanksgiving. Everybody checks it out, and it's fun to hear what people think.